Hello everybody, it's your boy Zack back to attack yet another video, and today I just felt like doing a video. I'm feeling good. Feeling good today. Felt good yesterday, Yesterday, I ended up working on other stuff, just projects and stuff. I just had this invigoration and inspiration the other day, and it's crazy how things can just kind of come together, because I write stories and aspire to write them into books, comics, shows, films, stuff like that. And so yesterday I conjure up this kind of idea for a story, a newer idea for a story. I've been in a writing slump lately, and I've discarded some old things that I'm writing, kind of, and so I have this new kind of idea, and then just like that, everything just sort of clicks. And so now, stories that I wrote a long time ago, and then even so much as more recent stories, they've just kind of come together, and this idea that I have, it's just it allows all those other ideas that I was gonna just kind of make their own little individual story, and have them fit into this story, making this very big, cool, all-encompassing story with so many different things going on in it, and it just works, I think. And it made me really excited, and so I got to working on that the other day, and it's crazy how just like that, all sorts of things that you've been working on, or things that you probably don't think are going to be that significant, how they just one day these random little things can just kind of come together into one thing. It's kind of I was working on all those stories thinking I was going to write those, and then it comes to this new thing that I'm doing, and then I kind of almost, not really, but almost discarded those other stories, or was pushed them to the side, and then now I'm working on this new creative project. And it's just it all fits together so nicely. I was working on all those individual things for it to one day be clicked into place into this bigger story idea that I have. And I'm not going to go into depth and stuff about that, but it's really cool how that happens. I noticed that with things in life too, things just kind of click into place, and it's really cool. Whenever you have this random moment here, this random event here, and you would think these things couldn't ever be connected, but then they are one day, and that's just really cool. I think about stuff like that sometimes. I'm just it's crazy how some of these things just kind of come together. And then today was really good. I just been feeling so high on life today, and I don't know. Today has just been a good day. I've had a lot of great encounters, and then on top of that, so I deliver food and stuff for people, and so I just so happened to deliver some food to this place, and then I'm driving out, and what do I see? I see someone who I've been wanting to reconnect with. They just so happen to be running by, and for anyone who's watched the Backstreet Boy podcast episodes that I did, I'm referring to someone who I snuck a little video of them in there at one point. It's John, that was a while ago, whatever. And so John is a buddy that I used to work with, and he's a great guy. And I just find it interesting because, you can say, I've went over this before in other video, about coincidences and stuff, and how I genuinely don't believe in coincidences. I've wanted to reach out to John. I've wanted to reach out again to a friend of mine who, I've put up videos with, him, gaming with me, a friend named Dalton. And it was just I was thinking, for a while now, I've been meaning to reach out to John, meaning to reach out to Dalton, never have, just caught up in my own little world. And then, lo and behold, a sign comes before me in the form of my buddy John, out on his run, just so happens to be running right by where I was dropping off food. And then, you know, I put a pause on that, and then I went and I talked with him for a moment, and we caught up. And then, you know, from this, I reached out to Dalton, and we're kind of in the works of planning to, you know, have a meet up and, you know, catch up. And I find that stuff really interesting. And I just kind of wanted to talk about it. I was just thinking about it, and I was like with the coincidences and stuff, I like, again, in that video, it has coincidence in the title, I believe. It was a while ago. It was like an old Zack Track from season 1. This is season 2, by the way. Video 100. This is video 100. This is my 100th video. That's crazy. I just want to say that. That's crazy. I didn't think make freaking 100 of these things, but yeah. Anyways, I tangent a lot. Don't know if you noticed, but I do that. Anyways, back to what I was talking about, which was, thank you for reminding me. I just think it's really cool that, you know, these things, when you really think about them, like coincidences, I don't believe coincidences really are just like a thing that just happens. You know, I truly believe that there is, and you believe what you want. I'm not trying to, you know, put any, you know, of my ideals onto others, but I truly believe, and I know in my core that everything is orchestrated so perfectly that John's day overlapped into mine because forces outside of our really perception have made it to be so. And even if we, you know, get together and we catch up like we're planning to do, and then that's it, it doesn't matter. Like I would like to think there would be more than just that, but even if that is so, it's because there's something left to be done. Either to just be in communication with that person or people, or to, you know, or have like a certain conversation, or have like you know, just, you know, become more bonded to one another, or to just like, you know, just like little things, like we have a purpose in the people that we interact with. You know, even the person you just wave to, you know, in passing or whatever, I truly believe that there's a reason that you saw that person, why, you know, there's something there on a much deeper level that is not really within our total comprehension. And we can do our best, and I try to do my best, but I'm not trying to say like, oh, you know, me, John, Dalton, it's destined to, you know, we're destined to like be in each other's lives per se, like that. Although we already have been, and we always seem to, you know, keep, you know, talking and stuff every once in a while. So what I'm saying is that stuff like that, not even just this scenario, just like, you know, whoever's watching this, you know, outside of that, just everybody that you interact with, even just in passing, you only see them once, there was always some reason behind it. You know, you interact with this rude person, there's a reason behind it. You know, you can learn something from rude people, I've found, you know, like as ways not to act. Or you could also be the example for people out there who are just rude to others, and just like, you know, and I've done that. You know, I've, you know, delivered, you know, food, and I pick up food at restaurants, and there's a lot of, you know, people out there who, and it's, you know, and it's not really for me to judge, you know, and I try to work on that, to try not to judge people. And, you know, if I encounter someone negative or something, I try my best to snap out of any like aggression or any like negative thinking, and remember that this person, I don't know their story, I don't know what they're going through, I don't know what has just happened before they came into this restaurant, I don't know what their life is like, I don't know all these factors, and all these factors are important. And so, you know, and whenever I see someone being like, you know, very like I remember this one time, I'm just gonna bring it up. I was at a McDonald's, and there was all sorts of customers around, and they were just ganging up on these workers. They were just being so rude and mean, and they didn't even know each other. I found out later that they were just complete strangers, and they were just ganging up on these people, you know. And I saw people at the restaurant where, you know, they did make some mistakes and stuff, and I understand the aggravation, but, you know, I was just thinking, like, there's so many people, like, they're ordering all these stuff, and I constantly think we should be more grateful. We should really be more grateful. I try to be more grateful every day, and I fail sometimes. Sometimes I don't really fully show the appreciation of the things that I have, and like, you know, it's just stuff like that. I'm just thinking like, these people, they said, oh, I had to wait like 15-20 minutes for this, you know, fast food, and I understand that can be aggravating, especially you have a time constraint. I don't know your life, I'm not trying to judge, but you know, I just think in those moments, I'm like, there are people out there who would cry to have to wait that short a time to be able to get just that scrap of that food. There are people out there who really starve, and a lot of us, we're just so spoiled, you know. We are. I am, and probably anybody watching this is in some fashion. Not to say that in a negative connotation. We have luxuries. A lot of us have luxury. Like, if you're able to watch this video, you have a luxury someone out there doesn't. Not you know, not because, you know, you're watching me. I mean, you know, you're welcome. But but because, you know, like, some people don't have access to the internet and can't do stuff like this. This can't encompass any part of their day. Lately, I've, and especially today, I was just thinking I'm very grateful for the things that I have, and you know, I try to inspire that into others and stuff, because you never know what the people who work at restaurants are going through back there in the kitchen and stuff like that. So I try to treat people with compassion, even if I end up kind of aggravated at the kind of pace of things going, or feel like I'm not really, like, someone's just kind of ignoring, trying to help me and stuff like that when I'm doing my job. You know, I try my best to still just give a smile and just kind of acknowledge appreciation in some fashion. And I just, yeah, I don't know. So like I said just a bit ago, I tangent a lot. So I know kind of how I got here, but I don't know exactly what got me here per se. But the overall thing I was trying to get at is like, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be Zack. I'm grateful to be who I am, and that is, like, if you asked me back in my days when I lived in my apartment, I would be like, not that I wouldn't have been grateful, but I would have been like, I would never have thought that I would get to a point that I am right now, and I'm doing great, and I'm really, honestly, I'm proud. I'm proud of the distance I've come in my mental health. You know, sometimes I falter. You know, it happens. We all have bad days. But it's crazy how far I've come. And I really think that is not just my doing, but it's also the doing of people I interact with. You know, people that I run into and speak with. And then, you know, like, I ran into a coworker at McDonald's. Not this crazy chaotic day that I was talking about, but I ran into a coworker a couple days ago that I used to work with, and you know, we caught up, you know, we talked a little bit, and you know, it brought a smile to my face. You know, as I was walking out, I was happy to see that person. I was happy to just catch up even just a small bit, you know, because I don't know, I've really come to appreciate the people that I have interacted with and had the pleasure of meeting. If you are watching this, to anybody who I've ever interacted with and ever met, I assure you I remember you a lot more than you probably think, especially because I'm weird and I like to analyze people. I like to just kind of like gauge people and like how they act, how they react, how they, you know, I try to look for people, how their emotions are doing, if they seem like they're happy, if they seem like they're sad, if there's something I can do about it. I'm weird. So and then you know, I try my best to pay attention to, you know, what they tell me, information, retain it, and it's just a good old it's just been a good old life, and you know, I'm only 27 years young, and it's, you know, just all the people I've met, it was all for a reason. You know, even people that I didn't get along with, or people that didn't get along with me, or, you know, people that maybe I didn't like too much or didn't like me, whatever, yada yada pinata, you know what I'm saying, dog? Anyways, it's all for a purpose. That's kind of what I was getting at. You know, I truly believe that there are greater things at play for every single one of us, you, everybody. And whenever I know how I got here. I'm so good. Okay. Whenever we interact with people, like whenever you run into that person that you're like, what are the odds? There was a reason behind that, for you and that person. There are so many things that we can really analyze about our interactions with people. People that we don't really know and people that we do know, and people that we run into by happenstance over and over again. Like, it's not a coincidence is what I'm getting at, and it happens for a reason, for your benefit and for theirs in some way. Like, there's something you can get out of all the interactions that you have, and I get people aren't going to be doing that a whole lot, and like, I mean, I don't do it like obsessively for every single interaction and stuff, but sometimes, you know, whenever it clicks in my head, I really do think there was a reason for that. And just like I ran into John and I reached out to, you know, Dalton, I feel like there's a reason and a purpose behind these things. You know, like for me personally, I don't know about them, but for me personally, I did want to reach out to both of them. I did want to reconnect with both of them, as it's been a little bit since I've, you know, talked to either one of them. And, you know, to anybody else out there who I, you know, kind of knew back in the day, or still kind of know, or whatever, I mean, the invitation's always open. You know, you reach out to me, I'll you know, go get you my tea, you know. But I'm not really expecting any offers there, and that's fine. I'm kind of a secluded person sometimes anyway, but I'm trying to be more outgoing and whatnot. But yeah, to anybody out there, it's just, you know, I would love to hear from you, even if it's just over a message. You know, I would love to hear from you. You know, I try my best to kind of monitor those I have on, like, you know, on like social media, and kind of see how they're doing. I really should interact more with posts and stuff, so people know that I care, I guess. I feel like it should just be a given, but it's not how everybody thinks. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I knew that I had like the next video I was going to make, which is this one, was going to be my 100th video I've made on this channel. And so I thought, why not sit down and just kind of yap about something? And I didn't really have anything I wanted to yap about. And then yesterday was just a good day in terms of progression on like my creative projects. And then today was just a great day for just introspection on life, which I like to do a lot, and things going on behind the scenes. But also, it was just, it was a really nice day. I had nice interactions with people, you know, as I was dashing, and then I got to reach out to Dalton, and it was good to hear from him. And it was just, it was nice, you know, running into John to kind of be the catalyst that kind of pumps this whole thing into gear with me, John, and Dalton. It's just really nice, and it was by design. I know that, because again, coincidences, they aren't real. They are real, but like, there's always something. There's a reason you constantly interact with people that maybe you don't even want to interact with, which is not the case here, but I'm just trying to encompass like all sorts of perspectives on this topic. But anyway, yeah, plans are coming together on my creative projects, and it's really cool. And then today I just felt really happy, and yeah, things are going great for me. And might as well start season 2 of Zack Track on a positive note. So this is gonna be the video. Anyways, also, I am going to be putting out a video soon-ish, probably within the week, because I said I was going to in the last video. There's the new Accountant movie's coming out, The Accountant 2, and I plan to go see that. And I went ahead and rewatched the first Accountant, which was like a decade ago. And yeah, I went through it, and I kind of did like a little review, and I already recorded it and all that. I just got to upload it sometime. And then I also plan to do the same thing for like a review for a book I just finished last night, that I've been reading called Dune, the Butlerian Jihad, and that book was great. That book was great. I very much loved that book, and I loved it so much I just really want to talk about it. So I'm going to do a video on it and review it. So yeah, so I've got like at least like a couple videos in the works, and those will be coming out when they do. Anyways, I hope all of you are doing well, whoever you are. And remember, if you believe, you can achieve. That's my motto. Anyways, without further ado, fellas Zacklights, if you liked the video, please leave your boy Zack a like and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And without further ado, I already said that bit. You've been you, I've been Zack. Love you.